found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle. I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
Yo, 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 how you living, how you feeling, how you doing? This is First Choice Fantasy. We are back today with our week 11. Bing, 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 bing. Week 11 start, sits, 2020 football season, fantasy football. Last week, boys, how did we manage to do? I know I didn't do shit. I think I hit one.
One.
Yeah.
Well, I can't really. I
Maybe
know.
I deleted the page. So.
Yeah, I whiffed on a few spots. Got Antonio Gibson. He was probably my proud spot.
That spot.
He's fine. I think I can go back to Kyle coupons, although they did win that game.
Jared Cook being a sit would have paid out. So Dallas Goedert, I brought up how Richard Rodgers crushed the Giants the last time they played. Well,
And again.
maybe it was just Richard Rodgers. So
I mean, I think that's more having to do with the fact that Doug Peterson calls plays like a 7-year-old playing Madden. But
yeah.
What do I know?
But we're moving on to week 11, the better starts and worse sets.
All right, I guess we can just fire it up real quick. Quarterbacks. Starts, I guess we're just going to get into it. I don't really know what else to say. I'm just going to, fuck it. We'll just get into it. Alex, you can take your quarterback first.
Pass. I'm just kidding. I'm going with Ben Roethlisberger, Jacksonville. Enough said. Also, they just seem content to throw the ball the entire game now. I don't know what happened to them giving Connor 30 carries a game. Has he been doing anything? I feel like he's kind of fallen off.
Yeah, past 2 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks.
Sure why they just kept dropping back and throwing the ball against Cincy when they were up by 20 points, still trying to score touchdowns. But I mean, hey, that's their business, not mine. It's starting against Jacksonville.
It helps fantasy people like me with Juju Smith-Schuster.
Maybe Tomlin's just Tomlin's a big fantasy guy, and he has all of his receivers.
Oh, yeah.
He's better.
What I like about this matchup, I don't know. Well, from fantasy perspective, I guess it makes sense to start him, but I'm hoping that he doesn't perform good because Xavier is a Steelers fan, and he's one of those obnoxious Steelers fans. We're going undefeated. No, you're not. You need to calm the fuck down right now.
They could go undefeated, but they ain't winning shit.
And they were given 4 wins.
You heard it here first. They're going to lose in the playoffs.
So
I don't even think I think they're probably. I think there's a chance they lose to the Jags. I think there's a chance, a slim pickings chance, but
against the Jags,
I think there's much of a chance because I feel like I get it different week, but they kind of demolished the Bengals, and I feel like that's a similar team except for the fact that the Jags have nowhere near the same amount of offensive talent, and they are similar to void of defensive talent. That's bold. But maybe Jake Luton? I forget how I was on this last week, but I don't know if Janky Boy's pulling it out.
I just feel like you can't apply logic to football anymore. That's my takeaway from it. Sometimes you just have to go to the benches and hope for some shit to happen. It's random. It's absolutely random. So I could see Big Ben going crazy, or I could see Big Ben throwing 5 interceptions like he did last time he played Jacksonville. So I'm hoping for the latter. I want Xavier to be screaming and crying.
No, you should hope that they go undefeated, just so when they lose in the divisional round, it's just that more painful.
You're not wrong.
That's true.
Well, I would hope, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you go 16-0. If you don't win that Super Bowl, it's not.
You get a first-round bye.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not walking around the off season being like, hey, we got a first round bye last year. Good for us.
That's true. That is true. Very true.
Wow, you guys see that first round bye?
I'm scared.
You're gonna wear a shirt. Pittsburgh Steelers 2020 first round bye. Absolutely not. So, Brandon, who you got?
Got Tua Tagovailoa. Listen, Denver got absolutely butchered on the ground last week against the Raiders. Devontae Booker got in the mix. You got Josh Jacobs, who just absolutely sliced and diced the Broncos.
Devontae
Problem. What was that?
Booker sliced and diced the Broncos as well.
Yeah,
That was what he led off with.
yeah, that was the first guy.
Oh, I missed that. I was zoned the fuck out. I apologize.
Yeah. But this is a different situation. The Dolphins don't have their lead horse back, Gaskin, and
I thought
although
he was that good to begin with.
that's true, but still got the lead horse work. And now you got that one. Who is it? Ahmed.
Yes, sir. The GOAT.
Yeah, Ahmed has just kind of done what Gaskin has done.
And that's what I was going to say. So their run game, I mean, although it's not like superior, it's still going to be there. I don't think it's going to be that effective, and I think it's going to have to come down to Tua. And my brother, being a Broncos fan, he always tells me how they get gashed by quarterbacks that have the ability to run. So I'm just taking his word for it as a Broncos fan and going with Tua. I think he's going to keep his streak alive.
I'm not 100% sure what the playoff picture is looking like over there, but I'm really rooting for the Raiders and the Dolphins to get in there.
Right?
If I was a team in the AFC, I would not be looking to see Miami. Not a team I want on my schedule in the playoffs. The Bill Belichick coaching tree seems to be putting in work for once, at least down in Miami.
Thanks.
And on the other end, it's just fun to watch John Gruden just be out there doing his thing. Ed, what you got?
All right. I'm on par. I'm on. Cam Newton against the Houston Texans. I bet against the Patriots last week.
That's what I have.
I was hooked. I was bamboozled. I was led astray. I was running muck. Fucking to Cam Newton. Just the team in general, the offense. Jacoby Myers tossed a touchdown. What?
Just because they couldn't stop the run game if their lives depended on it.
Oh yeah,
Damian Harris was getting like 12 yards a carry. It felt like.
Probably 13, but yeah, around there. But Cam Newton, I think he's gonna fucking light up his defense. Houston's defense isn't all that. We all know this. Who the fuck did they just lose to last week?
Browns.
The Browns, who I feel like are kind of cheating at this point because it seems like every home game they have, like the weather is mind-numbingly bad. Like that game was like 3-0, like the fourth quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very bad.
At this point, like they should be fine for this. I know they can't control the weather, but this is some bullshit.
I agree. I agree with Blanich.
I think that game against the Raiders, I want to say, where like the wind was so bad, like teams were kicking field goals and the ball would just go up in the air and just fly away.
Yeah.
Just got stuck out of the sky by a vacuum.
I think I saw a video in that game. I forget. I think it was the Browns who went to do a field goal and then they faked the field goal into a punt. I'm pretty sure. I know I saw footage of this.
I did not see
But I
that.
forget if it was the Texans or the Browns. But
I don't even know.
but they punted the ball and pinned them within the 10-yard line, I believe.
That's just
It may have been the Browns. I think it was the Browns. Yeah, because I remember Pat McAfee talking about it, or whatever the fuck his name was. Yeah, I do remember that now.
that just
I
seems
wasn't
like
sure if it was like older
Mhm.
footage or what, but I saw it like passing through like Bleacher Report, and I was like, "What?" And it wasn't even that far of a field goal. That weather must have been putrid to have to do that. It was probably like a 40-yard field goal.
pretty sure it's Dan Carlson that was kicking like a 40-something yard field goal, and the ball went like halfway there, fell. Like the wind swatted that shit out of the air like a Dikembe commercial.
Dikembe Mutombo.
I need
Live.
to bring those commercials back. Those commercials were funny.
Same as these sits, though, too.
Yeah, sits are sits.
From start to sit, who you got, Ed?
Fucking Drew Lock just shits the bed regularly. I mean, last week he tossed 4 interceptions? Was that what it was?
I
Probably.
don't know. I just thought that he had like 3 points, and I'm pretty sure Brandon started him in at least 3.
Yes, I started him in 3 leagues. Exactly.
Bad for you.
That's why.
He
4 interceptions.
Who were they playing? Was it the Chargers?
The Raiders.
Raiders.
That really good.
Yeah, we literally just. Who the hell were the Chargers? The Chargers are playing Miami. All right. There's
Kalen
4
Ballage.
teams. I cannot figure those teams.
Foreshadowing. But yeah, Mr. Locke is a sit because he's just turnover prone. If he even plays, I did see something earlier that he has like a bruised ribs or something. I don't know what it is.
I saw he was injured. Just not
Yeah.
sure
Kind of
what
bruised ego.
exactly.
There's a chance.
Shut down by the. You know what? Was that in Vegas?
I think it was.
I'm gonna put my conspiracy
Yeah,
cap
it
on
was.
and say that the second-year quarterback there, maybe he was living his life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he does seem like the type of character to do so.
He does. It's just
I
I've
don't
seen-
know. That seems like a kind of low-key like advantage to the Raiders. Maybe they'll start doing a little better. Kind of like, all right, I don't know if you guys follow hockey a lot, but it's like they called it like the Vegas flu because teams playing the Golden Knights would do considerably worse on the road. So I guess because NHL players aren't in Vegas very much, so when they get the chance, living it up, playing like shit the following night.
it's a good thing that the Raiders have Derek Carr at quarterback because young Christian boy doesn't do anything wrong. So I guess that's another advantage on top of the.
Hey man, but
advantage.
I'm pretty sure they're. Let's see if that's home against Miami or if they're in Miami. I think they're at Denver. So yeah, Drew Lock's gonna rebound. No, just kidding. They're playing Miami.
We'll play Miami.
Miami's been locking fools up on defense.
Facts.
Kind of fun to watch.
I think
Which is
that
kind of funny because like how often do you normally you can't buy a defense, but that is precisely what the Dolphins have done.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said earlier, all the logic, toss it out the window.
yeah. Yeah.
Whereas put in the work. All right, that's enough about the Broncos. My sit of the week is Ryan Tannehill against the Raiders because they don't really seem to. One, I feel like Henry's just going to carry the ball 60 times after watching that New England game, and their secondary can still bring it. So
Tannehill has not been looking too bright the past few weeks.
Facts.
I haven't really paid attention to the Vikings lately.
At least the past 2 weeks. Week 8, it was kind of week 7 and 8, 17 and 18. I mean, you're not upset with that, but you're not thrilled. And then followed it up with 14 and then 10.
I mean, to be frank, his matchups have been pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so is this one.
This one is indeed bad. We'll
But
get
hey, after week 12, though.
pretty sure he is. Yep. Foreshadowing. You'll see his name brought up later in another episode, possibly after this, possibly before this. Who knows? We're recording it after this, but I don't know what order.
Brandon, before you get into your next one, I was just want to say that this was originally my pick, but then I realized that every time they play a good defense, he inexplicably puts up 20 points. So
Yeah. I was going to say, like,
just beware.
okay. Carson Wentz was my pick here against Cleveland. At Cleveland, so the weather's probably going to be tornado warnings. But Wentz is
Still
going
throw
to
4 touchdowns in a tight loss.
Yeah, he's going to be chased by Myles Garrett. This defensive line is pretty terrifying. If I had Wentz and I was looking to start Wentz, I think he's going to have a fumble in this game. And although I don't think he had any turnovers last week, I think this will be the week he will. And I think he'll have a 12 to 15-point game this week. And that's something I wouldn't start.
I hate to say it. I love to say it as an Eagles fan, but I hate to say it because I want to say this. I think this is going to be the upset game that the Eagles have because they seem to have one typically.
They
And I
need
think,
one.
yeah, I think they're going to get it. I mean, this is my logic behind it. So they don't really have many big plays that have happened lately. You know what I mean? Like there's not
They've been saving them.
yard bomb for a touchdown.
There's a reason for that.
Well, the Browns' secondary is bad with big plays like that, so I would imagine that they'll probably struggle against the Eagles, even though it's
That was Dallas's, but I don't really remember us blowing them up.
well, from what I've watched, I see the Browns' secondary sucking terribly, like terribly. Like Andrew Sandejo doesn't know where the fuck the ball is at, turns the wrong way terribly. Like
That's
that's
true. We got a lot of that last year.
he did for a few moments, And I think Jalen Rager
So,
might have just that one play, get the spark going. Eagles might win it. Carson Wentz might get those big yards, big plays. Hopefully, that's what we need. That's what he needs. So you need fantasy. That's what I hope Wentz does, and Brandon is hoping against that for his credibility's sake. So I understand it.
Yeah.
A lot of quarterback time. Get into them running back.
Running backs, motherfuckers be questioning me as if I'm on the weed or something. Kalen Ballage is a fucking. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Last year,
Finds his way.
or just first week this season. It's 2020. That's the only thing he has going for him. It's 2020. Kalen Ballage was on the Dolphins, and he went to the Jets. I think he got traded, but then it didn't go through, and then he got cut, and then he got signed, failed the physical, didn't do anything there, and then he got cut again. Went to the Chargers practice squad. Chargers pops and pop, and he gets fucking reps, and then he gets reps. That's it. He gets reps. He gets touches. Plays the Jets. It's going to be a revenge game. Kalen Ballage is no longer Mirage. He's a real life thing. Let's get it going. Start Kalen Ballage this week. In all seriousness, seriously, my credibility on the line right now. Start Kalen Ballage against the Jets.
I believe that guy averaged like a yard per carry last year. It doesn't even seem possible.
I forgot about that fact. Yeah, very bad.
Yeah, he did not look good last year, but this is the matchup, man.
It's all
It's the
about
Jets.
matchups and workload.
It's a revenge game.
Indeed. I'm liking it.
I'm sure he gets to claim this as a revenge game. I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift because apparently they're giving him work now. So I'm looking forward to Peterson reclaiming his role and getting 28 carries this week.
DeAndre Swift's a fucking god, bro. Like I didn't watch the game, and then I just seen somebody put together clips of that game, every single carry he got. He looked like the best thing since sliced bread. He was good. He was dodging everything, hurdling people. He just looked agile. It was amazing.
It's pretty obvious because like he was a monster at Georgia. This is about as expected. Just took Detroit like half the season to figure that out. Like, nah, Peterson though. Gotta give Peterson those carries.
Yeah, who knows what they're thinking.
Everyone knows that if you get cut from Washington, clearly you're starter material.
In Detroit.
I'm sitting
Brandon?
here, and I got Damian Harris as my start against Houston. This is, second, third week in a row. He's got double-digit carries, and he's been looking good. He has a pretty good yards per carry, and I think he's going to keep it up against Houston. They're going to want to keep it out of Deshaun Watson's hands and Damian Harris's.
I feel like he's one of those few guys that there's a lot of like off-season hype about him, and then he just kind of disappeared. Well, he got hurt for a while, and then like he's come back and he's been like pretty solid.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has really noticed
At all.
Oh, well.
He's probably doing more with what Sony Michel would get than Sony Michel would. Doing more than Sony Michel if Sony Michel was there.
I'd have to agree.
I guess we're gonna find out when Michelle comes back. You know how that goes.
Yeah, that's going to be real awkward because Damian Harris is the clear replacement. Like, he doesn't get any targets, just like how Michelle had no targets for him. It's like, what's going to happen? Are you really going to, like, split that too?
Speaking of running backs that just
Probably.
don't get targets, I mean, we're going to go into sits, I suppose, real quick. Is that cool?
Oh, for sure.
I would imagine.
I'm sitting my flagpole that I had early on in the season. If anybody remembers that, Ronald Jones. He was great. He still is great. God bless you, Brandon. Um, but that 99-yard run, 98-yard run, whatever the hell it was last week, boosted his stats exponentially. But it was a
Don't
beautiful run nonetheless. He almost got caught. That scared me as well. But he's good. But against the Rams, he's not good, if that makes any sense. And he's not really getting any receiving work. I seen on Sleeper, it says in his summary, it's like a headline. Ronald Jones erupts for 198 scrimmage yards, one score. And I was like, whoa, 198 scrimmage yards? That must mean he had some receiving yards. Nope, we had 6.
rushing.
Yeah, 6 receiving yards, 1 catch. Cool, that's good for him. But he's not doing anything other than running, and he's not going to run against the Rams because it's the Rams. So don't start him this week. Ronald Jones on the bench.
I'm going to bench
Yeah, like that.
I'm going to sit Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Because the last time they played Vegas, I thought he was a shoe-in starter, and he proceeded to do nothing. And, like, his snaps have just been declining, like, every week. I think he was on the field for, like, 40% of the snaps their last game.
Yeah.
And he got, like, 9 touches. So it's kind of worrisome if you're counting on that. So I just wouldn't.
It's crazy to me they brought Le'Veon Bell in. Has Le'Veon Bell really, like, gotten opportunities like that yet? Or did they
I don't
dwindle?
really think so. I think they've just kind of, like, stopped running the ball, which I can't blame them for that. Given, like, everything else going on around there, I think they just decided, we don't need to run the ball. Got Mahomes and probably the best set of weapons in the league.
That's for another day.
But if you start an Edwards-Helaire, you're pretty much just hoping for, like, a 4-yard touchdown, and it's a scary proposition.
It's true. It's very true.
I am sitting Todd Gurley. Do not start him. Sit
not
him on your
play him.
bench.
Don't have him.
Put him away in a plastic bag, whatever you need to do. He's going against the number 1 run defense in the NFL. Now, will volume trump good defense? Who knows?
Probably.
Fantasy football is random. And being that I made him my sit, most likely he'll do great. But I see a matchup that's not too good. And although Drew Brees most likely won't be playing this week, I don't know. I don't see New Orleans losing a beat because Jameis Winston was brought in to, no matter how many mistakes he makes, he's going to follow it up with the equal amount of good plays.
This is probably your Michael Thomas game because I can't imagine him getting anywhere less than 45 targets.
Right?
I would imagine Winston's just going to, like, throw it to him every other play, whether he's open or not. That's just kind of his thing.
Michael Thomas is a beast, and he will catch them all. He'll catch all of them.
They got to catch them all. Pokemon.
7 last week. That's scary. What if I start Taysom Hill?
I thought about picking up Taysom Hill. Throwing him in.
I think he's a good quarterback. I think Sean Payton's just irrationally in love with the guy because, like, they put him on the kickoff team 2 years ago.
I told X to pick him up because his quarterback is, I think, Matt Ryan, something like that. I don't know. Upside out the wazoo.
And some leagues have Taysom Hill as tight end eligible.
Yeah.
I tried looking at every league I'm in because I would have done it if, like, he was tight end eligible, but he wasn't.
Not a bad idea because there's, like, tight end is just all over the place this year.
Yeah, tight ends, you can get trash tight ends scoring great. Yeah.
Plus, if he's playing quarterback, you can throw him in your flex if he's tight end eligible and he gets that's 10 points in your flex. Boom.
Kind of cheap, but hey, I'm not here to win game.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Get into these receivers.
What about receivers?
Let's get into these receivers.
Oh, you're right. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make mine quick and simple by saying that like Ben Roethlisberger, you should start all 3 Steelers receivers because it seems like they're kind of all locked to get at least 10 targets. So they're all very large, fast human beings. Well, I guess Deontay Johnson isn't large. Very fast and elusive. So, I mean, 10 targets for anyone is a solid base. So start them. Start them all.
And who else you should start?
Nobody.
Christian Kirk. He's the wide receiver 2 on the team. DeAndre Hopkins coming off a
Beautiful
bowling
catch.
game. Beautiful catch. Game winner.
Beautiful.
And Seattle can't stop a plastic bag floating out in the field. So Christian Kirk, D-Hop, I don't know. Larry Fitz. You guys think Larry Fitz could even be a start? Who knows? But I do know Christian Kirk's going to be a good start. I think he's going to have a really good game here against Seattle this Thursday. Whether or not this episode's being posted on Thursday, start him tonight. Make sure he's in your wide receiver position, not your flex.
Yeah.
So,
Their difference.
yes, because if you have a running back in your flex and he's questionable, he ends up being out or something. If you have Kirk in your flex
Yeah.
and say you have a player like a running back that's
I forgot it was
questionable.
a Thursday night game. I know you just mentioned it, but I get what you mean now.
Okay.
I agree.
He agrees. We all agree. And everybody better agree on this. Jarvis Landry started against the Eagles because the Eagles slot corner is shitty. And Jarvis Landry is getting the targets for the team entirely. And Odell Beckham, in case you guys forgot, I think he hurt his knee, so he might not play this week.
I think he's out for the year, isn't he?
It was
Done for.
sarcasm.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, he might be out for the game. I mean, check back in with like Lewis Riddick on Saturday or something. But yeah. So Odell is out, obviously. Jarvis Landry is the alpha monster male in that offense, outside of the running backs and the offensive line and everybody. He's a good wide receiver. Start him against the Eagles. Terrible slot corner. Start him. What are you doing? Start him. He might get actually like a passing touchdown or something. You never know. He's good. He's
I think
like
all
Jacoby Myers, but like
because generally any sort of misdirection has our defense like falling on the ground looking for answers.
Yeah.
facts. Yeah.
Any type of misdirection, just counter Eagles defense out. They'll just fall over.
Facts.
It really feels that way watching them. All right, talk about these six. I'm going to go first.
For the six
Record sitting Mike Evans. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
Ooh.
I'm just going to hope Jalen Ramsey's on him all game because if he is, I wouldn't start him.
This Rams defense has been stout passing against the passing.
Maybe I should have sat Godwin instead. Maybe you should sit Godwin. I'm pretty sure they've kind of invented a new position for Ramsey that he's like a quasi slot receiver safety sort of thing because he's such a good tackler, so it's nice having him near the box. Maybe you should sit Godwin instead. I've already committed. Sit Mike Evans. And Godwin.
Or do you sit both of them?
Sit them all. Sit them all.
Yeah, see them all.
Sit them all. Sit
Sit
the other guy down. You see that other thing about Antonio Brown that they said he did like right before he got signed that we're all just kind of like ignoring?
Supposedly, the Buccaneers were made aware of it before it happened, yeah. Or not before it happened.
What happened?
So apparently he got into like a disagreement with his like homeowners association or something and like threw a bicycle through a window or something at a security guard standards or something. It might not have been exactly that. Yeah, I know there's a people involved, and like apparently that the leader of the homeowners association there said she declined to press charges because she was worried about the safety of her employees.
What?
We're all just gonna ignore that. Like, yeah.
Wow.
Wild.
Yeah. We're just gonna ignore that.
It's the faulty computer in the system. What it is.
I don't know if he's gonna make it through the end of the season. It seems like he's just still doing this shit. Apparently, that would have happened in like week 8 or something like that, week 7, something like that. Which is like well after he was supposedly like on the track to being a better person and like done with all the nonsense. But throwing your bicycle at like the security guard checkpoint is not really lining up with either of those things. I don't know whether that lady like didn't want to press charges because she was worried about Bucks fans coming after her employees, or because she was worried about Antonio Brown coming after her employees. But the fact that that question comes to mind, not good.
Not good at all.
I did not know that news. That is crazy.
Get connected for free with Twitter and everything else. All right, let's dive into these sits. Oh, we already are in the sits. I'm tweaking hardcore. Mike Evans was the sit. Corey Davis is my sit against the Ravens. Much Alex's sit of Ryan Tannehill. Corey Davis is also going to be a sit because the Ravens defense it's kind of on the edge. I mean, obviously they did struggle with the run, like we noted earlier, but Derrick Henry is not Corey Davis unless he gets his fantasy
Corey
point.
Davis does not get a lot of carries. So.
Yeah, that too, and that's it. That's the only thing I gotta say. Corey Davis, no carries. That's the end of starting him.
Robbie Anderson's a sit this week. No?
Nope.
Disagree?
You
You don't think Teddy Bridgewater's injury is going to affect?
No, sir.
Okay.
Bill Walker's better anyway. PJ Walker's better anyway.
Whoa, he's better.
Hot take.
Isn't that the guy who got
a very spicy take?
He was there, and then they signed Teddy Bridgewater
No, he came from the XFL.
after Teddy Bridgewater was already signed.
Yeah.
They were preparing.
Yeah. But then he was going to go down eventually.
Did he play at Temple, right?
Yeah. With Matt Rule.
No, that would make sense.
Notable. He's going to break out. Just watch it. 5'11". All 5'11" of him is going to break out. I'm Superman. And he's going to fucking take the NFL MVP, run with it.
I mean, if anything, though, your sit should be DJ Moore from that capacity. Because as we've discussed before, in terms of depth of target, it's Samuel, Anderson, Moore. So, like, you probably want to sit the top guy because, like,
I thought about Moore.
I don't know if you watched that Bears game last night, but generally when the backup quarterback comes in, you never heard it. It's not good. I'm assuming nobody watched that. But at the end of that Bears game, Foles got hurt, and they brought in some guy named Tyler Gray. And he threw a few passes that were probably some of the worst throws I've ever seen. I don't know if anyone was watching that, but they had a 4th and 10 where I'm not even sure who he was throwing the ball to. Like, Cole Kmet was that way, and the ball went, like, that way. It was like 4th down. I mean, I get it. It was like the end of the game. Like how they completed passing downs, the clock would have expired. But like that was even in those circumstances, that was such a meager way to go out. Like they should have just punted it at that point and just like hope that whoever is returning for the Vikings muffed it.
Or just ran Wildcat with Cordero Patterson.
I mean, the problem with that is that you're not going to get out of bounds and the clock would expire. However, it would have saved the quarterback the embarrassment of throwing that pass.
You never know.
I think we know there. He got a kickoff return for a touchdown, so there ain't no way in hell he's pulling off through. That would have been some shit. But you know what? 2020, man, he probably would have. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Fire Nagy. They should have ran the Wildcat.
Wildcat. Imagine the public's opinion on that if that would happen. Like, is this man on crack?
Is Trubisky just hurt?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the whole reason why Foles has been in this whole time? I thought Trubisky was benched.
Pretty sure they benched him, and like then he got hurt.
How did he? Wait, at practice
I was just about to say I don't know. I don't really.
No, he got in for one snap, and he got hurt on that one snap.
Are you serious?
Where?
That is just bizarre.
Yeah. Sad.
Mitch Trubisky's career.
True.
Let's get into these tight ends.
Get into them. We got 3 Eagles on this motherfucker, JK. Actually, we kind of do. All 3 Eagles tight ends. Start them all. Besides who?
Richard Rodgers. Well, who knows?
He's the imposter.
I mean, probably the guy who has a psych under his name. That might be the imposter.
Well, the audience can't read.
Our show docs. Got Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert against the Cleveland Browns.
Ed, I'm going to have you explain yours first because I have a very good argument as to why it should be Goddard instead of Ertz.
I mean, honestly, my start sits are very loose. If you ask me direct advice, I usually give actual advice, but the start is really loose. I just think Zach Ertz coming back against Cleveland, who's been pretty bad against tight ends. Zach Ertz is Zach Ertz and it'll Zach Ertz, if that makes any sense.
Somebody Zach Ertz is going to Zach Ertz. So, yeah, that phrase is not.
I think it works. It's like Tootsie Pop. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with Goddard because for some reason Goddard cannot succeed unless Ertz is in. I don't know why. That appears to be the case. I'm just going to go with Goddard. My theory is that whenever they have both tight ends, they run those like bootlegs to Goddard, and he's super athletic, so he'll rip off 25 yards to play. But then when they don't have Ertz, Peterson just kind of runs Goddard into the Ertz role, and like they run him like 9-yard out route. I'm not really sure who to be angry at in that situation, besides literally everyone. But start Goddard.
This is a good theory. I like the theory. So take his advice in this circumstance.
It's hard to make theories about the Eagles' offense because the Eagles don't really run an offense. They're just kind of 11 guys out there just doing whatever.
It's really
I'd like to think Peterson before every play is like, all right, running this one.
Like usually there's like a hot route. There's like a hot route, you know, where like the quarterback's first look, and I feel like it's so at random. Like we never have like.
Remember, like that one. They've had a lot of success this year doing like the misdirection bootlegs because like that's something that Carson's really good at because he's one of the best like throwers like on the run in the league.
Yeah, outside the pocket.
And like I remember that's kind of how we beat the Giants the first time because like when we needed to, we went to that play, we went back to that well at the end of the game. And there was one scoring drive. I think it was the start of the second half. They just marched down the field with that, and then they didn't do it again at all for the rest of the game. And those are my thoughts on the Eagles offense. Sigh.
It's a valid thought.
Sign a coordinator. Sign an actual coordinator. They need to just lose out so Jeffrey Lurie can realize Doug Peterson is well over his head at doing both of the roles he's doing. He's a great motivator. He can't run an offense to save his fucking life. They brought in all these talented offensive minds, and I have no idea what all of them are doing. I don't know if they're just all telling different things. There's probably like 6 different guys telling them to do 6 different things. All right. Like how they bring Hurts in like kind of 1 to half and then run the zone read that like everyone in the stadium knows is coming because they don't let the man throw passes. It's always like one. They'll bring him in on a 2nd and 10. Pretty sure they did this like twice.
Yeah.
Once last week and once a week before. Or against Dallas, not the week before. The 2nd and 10, they bring him in, run the zone read, it loses 3 yards, and then that's the last we see of him.
Yeah.
Okay. Very creative play.
Well, it's gonna be a battle of the tight ends in this Philly Cleveland game because I have Austin Hooper as a start. Austin Hooper is gonna. The Eagles struggle against tight ends, and as of late, it seems like that trend hasn't really been as I don't know. It's a trend, and we're not good at guarding tight ends, and it hasn't been as evident as of late. But I feel like Austin Hooper's the type of tight end that'll come in and
Shows us.
Yeah.
Bring alive the trend.
It just depends if he gets targets, because if he gets targets, he'll be productive. If he doesn't get targets,
That's how I'm feeling. And I don't see them doing much outside of, you know,
Ball for 9 yards a carry.
yeah. Well,
If-
that too. Our run defenses really went down the drain, seems like.
Because our linebackers always guess the wrong hole every
Yeah.
single time. I can't tell you how many times I watch Alex Singleton or TJ Edwards like just immediately burst into the wrong hole like before the guys even got the ball. Like the ball's and just immediately dives in between two defensive tackles and leaves a hole the size of like fucking meteorite crater for the running back to stomp around. Very annoying. The good thing we spent a third round pick on a linebacker not ready to play and then proceeded to not play.
All right, I'll start off these sets. Second week in a row, it's going to be Jared Cook. Sit him. I'm saying him here because Jameis Winston, I mean, he had a talented tight end in Tampa Bay. O.J. Howard didn't use him at all.
Is that his fault or is that Arian's fault?
It could be Arian's fault or it could be Winston's fault. But even the year prior, before Arians was in there, he didn't really use him. Sure, O.J. Howard had a few blow-up games, but nothing consistent. Nothing that you're going to...
O.J. Howard just been getting the short end of the stick his entire career.
Yeah.
Went to Alabama, who are well known for like taking good tight ends and using them to block their entire career. And he goes to Tampa Bay, who drafts him with like the 12th pick or something, or 11th pick.
Yeah.
Then like forgets about it. He's gonna go to like the Steelers or something and just be rough. No, he should go. He should go to Tennessee. They had him and Jonnu Smith,
That would be gross.
Aaron Henry, and AJ Brown. You wouldn't be able to guard that team because I don't know who calls the plays in Tennessee, but that guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Eagles. How much money it will take to get that guy out? We need to snack him.
Who is this guy? I must be.
I have no idea who calls plays from Tennessee. And if he went to our team, I'd probably hate him too because that's just the way being a sports fan works.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's why you should do what the Phillies have done and just not have a GM during free agency. Because then who do you direct the anger at?
Nobody.
Yeah, it's very off topic here. Anyway, back on topic here. My sit of the week is Noah Fant against the aforementioned stingy Miami defense. Because if Locke's passes are all going into the hands of Miami defenders, what does Noah Fant do?
I was excited for Font earlier in the season. He's just
He's having a good year. He's just been like
hurt or Drew Lock.
Pretty sure he's still like the tight end 11 or something like that, which admittedly isn't saying much when Robert Tonyan remains like a top 7 tight end. I feel like Font has been productive when he's been in the game. But, we'll get to that later.
If Brett Rypien
Next episode.
starts, how did this man perform with Brett Rypien at the helm?
About the same as what I would imagine everyone assumed. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Rypien? Oh.
No, wasn't his dad like much better than he was?
I didn't even know he had.
No, his dad didn't. I'm pretty sure was it Mark Rypien or whatever. Pretty sure he was in the NFL. Right?
Okay, I thought you were just like quoting this man's dad to being better than he is.
No, he played. Yeah, he played 14 seasons. I don't know if it is Mark Rypien.
He played quarterback?
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl.
What?
Washington.
As a starter?
Yeah, in 1992, the Redskins, led by Mark Rypien, one of those things no longer exists, defeated the Buffalo Bills.
What's the Broncos doing? Use them right.
Yeah.
Go back to the Go back
I don't
to
think
that
they have.
time
I don't
period and use them
think
like
they
his
have
dad.
his dad. I think they have his son. And I feel like with quarterbacks, there's just I can't say that because the Mannings, their dad was obviously. Are they like the only family who had a good father-son quarterback?
I'm
It
thinking.
seems like a lot of like quarterbacks like either the son was the bit player or the dad was the bit player in the other one. Like, I'm not sure how that works. Although apparently, isn't Cooper Manning's son like tearing up the world or something?
Oh yeah, yeah, tearing it up.
Maybe they'll make it 3 generations in a row. Apparently, Cooper would have been really fucking good too if he didn't have a career-ending injury
That'd be insane.
condition. That would have been funny if you just had 3 Manning brothers ripping up the NFL at one time.
At the same
Yeah,
time,
that would have been really cool.
I'm not sure the world would have been able to handle that.
the Mannings.
Every press game, every like post-game press conference, where like you can't even understand what they're saying. Oh, we went out there. We feel run today. And Peyton Manning's forehead slowly getting bigger as the interview goes on. Really sure what Eli was known for, other than like being a mediocre quarterback outside of a few Super. I'm just pissed off all of the Giants fans. Good.
Ed, who's your set? Your tight end set.
Eric Ebron. That's it.
Sit him down.
He hasn't getting
Start-
targeted.
I feel very bad against tight ends, but Ed's going against the green here.
He's been getting
Disregard
targeted,
it.
but he doesn't do anything with them, and that's that.
I think he's going to score a touchdown today because it's been a few weeks. Maybe not today. Maybe when they play on Sunday. Probably not.
Yeah, he's out
Maybe
there.
practice.
Shit, he just caught a touchdown. I just got rid from the agent.
At 8:23 p.m., they're out there practicing on a Tuesday.
Must be, man. That's what the agent just told me.
That's why Pittsburgh is undefeated. You know, they're out there putting in the work.
Facts. Unlike the Eagles.
Well, the Eagles were in bed at this time.
No, they're not.
I'm not sure they have practice. Like Doug Peterson said after the game, he felt good about the game plan. What fucking game plan?
Yeah.
What game plan?
I
The
think we
offense
had a
wasn't running
strong
game
bye
plan.
week, everyone. See you guys on Sunday. What are you talking about?
I think
We
the
didn't
game
do
plan
anything
like
during the bye.
changes every single drive. That's like I guess the general game plan is to gain yards.
This
Let's also
isn't a
talk about how
Philadelphia Eagles
Miles
podcast. This is First Choice Fantasy.
So what are we doing?
What are we doing? We're signing off. We're
Who's
getting
that?
out of here.
Subscribe, motherfuckers. Adios.
Nobody made it this far, so we can talk about the Eagles.
No, I don't want to talk about the Eagles.